Meantime, Andrew Scheer of the Conservatives is speaking right now live on his plan to get the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion built after the Trudeau government ordered the National Energy Board to conduct a new review of the project. Let's listen in here.
Just more delays and more uncertainty. Nous n'avons toujours pas de calendrier de construction.
We don't have a construction timeline yet. We have no deadline for the end of work and no assurances about thousands of jobs that this project represents. Canadians shouldn't be surprised by this.
Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have already failed to deliver two major pipeline projects, the Northern Gateway and the Energy East projects. What they announced on Friday is part of their failure to deliver a third. Now, the Liberals have been working to undermine the Conservative record on pipelines. However, the facts speak for themselves. Our previous government completed 4 major pipeline projects during our 9 years in office, including 2 that included access to tidewater. The Trans-Canada Keystone Pipeline, the Enbridge Line 9B reversal, the Kinder Morgan Anchor Loop, and the Enbridge Alberta Clipper. Together, they ship 1.2 million barrels of Western Canadian oil every single day. Today, we learned that a 5th pipeline proposed under a Conservative government, the Keystone XL pipeline, will proceed next year. La seule chose qui a changé entre cette époque, quand les pipelines étaient proposés, approuvés et construits, et maintenant, alors que les pipelines sont tués dans l'œuf par les gérances et les compétences du gouvernement, est que Justin Trudeau est devenu
Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister.
The only thing that has changed between then, when pipelines were proposed, approved, and actually built, and now, when pipelines are suffocated to death by government overreach and incompetence, is Justin Trudeau becoming Prime Minister. Today, I will outline the steps Trudeau should take immediately to get the Trans Mountain expansion built, and the steps a Conservative government will take in the future to undo the damage his failures have caused and instill a better process to get pipelines built. First, here's what the Prime Minister should do right now. He should start by appointing a ministerial special representative to complete the consultation process as expeditiously as possible. This is something Justin Trudeau failed to do up front and something that Liberals failed to address in their announcement last week. He should follow up by enacting emergency legislation to affirm that Transport Canada's analysis of shipping traffic was sufficient and does not need to be duplicated by the National Energy Board. Ensuite, il devrait demander la suspension de la décision de la Cour d'appel fédérale.
Ask for a suspension of the federal court's decision and make an appeal to the Supreme Court. And finally, he should support the bill S-245 in order to specify that pipelines are federal jurisdiction.
For the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion, it is comprehensive and robust. It makes use at its disposal to get this project back on track. Now, second, here's what a new Conservative government will do in 2019 to fix Justin Trudeau's mess and to provide clarity and certainty around major pipeline projects. Our first move is one we've already announced. We will repeal Justin Trudeau's job-killing carbon tax. C'est le premier pas pour remettre notre secteur énergétique
in putting the energy sector back on its feet again. But there are other damage that has to be repaired, and that's why the Conservative government will support Bill C-69.
And we will end the ban on tanker traffic on the north coast of British Columbia. But we need to go further than just rolling back failed Liberal policies. A Conservative government will enact legislation to clarify the roles of proponents and government involved in consultations. We will end foreign-funded interference in regulatory hearings and provide certainty to investors on approval timelines and schedules. We will also use the federal declaratory power to declare a major project for the general advantage of Canada under Section 9210 of the Constitution, where we consider it necessary. Ensemble, ces mesures renverseront les
these measures
politiques catastrophiques
will
de Justin Trudeau
change
sur
the
les pipelines et
catastrophic
créeront un environnement où
projects
les
that
investissements majeurs
the
dans le
Liberals have
secteur
implemented
énergétique
and
sont
help
encouragés.
to renew the
Let's not
energy
forget,
sector.
before Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister, we had 3 private companies willing to invest more than $30 billion to build 3 nation-building projects that would have created tens of thousands of jobs and generated billions in economic activity. Maintenant que Justin Trudeau est Premier ministre,
Now
nous
that
n'avions
Justin
rien
Trudeau is Prime
de tout
Minister,
ça.
we don't have any of
Those
this.
companies, Kinder Morgan, Enbridge, and TransCanada, continue to invest in pipelines elsewhere in the world, just not in Canada. I am confident that our plan will give Canada the best chance to get Trans Mountain built and will again make Canada a place where these kinds of projects will succeed. Thank you very much, and happy to take your questions.
Great. So first up, we have Julie Van Dusen, CBC.
So how fast would your rescue plan get shovels in the ground?
Well, we have to keep in mind that we were first proposing these types of measures back in January, February, and March. Had the government listened to us then, we are confident that we would have not seen what we saw this summer. What the Liberals announced just last week was another 6 months of delay and not addressing any of the actual issues around consultation. So the quicker they move on this, obviously, the better. We would like to see a fixed timeline. We've already lost the summer season. We certainly don't want to see ourselves in a situation where we're going into the spring with even more uncertainty around it. So I believe that this would very quickly accelerate the process. The judge was very clear in her ruling, that that the consultation process can be very quickly addressed if it's focused on the shortcomings that she identified.
Which consultation process are you talking about? Is it about tanker traffic, which apparently the Conservative government of Stephen Harper ignored, or is it about First Nations? Meaningful consultations with First Nations. Which one is it?
It's the previous government had a robust regulatory process that saw 4 pipelines approved and built. We took the approvals process seriously, and we took the consultation process seriously. The judge was very clear that where the Liberals failed, where they specifically dropped the ball, was by sending note takers and not a true consultation, where concerns that were raised by Indigenous communities could be addressed. There could be a two-way dynamic. What they sent instead was just people to take notes and added it as an addendum to the report. That was clearly that clearly did not meet the standard. That was something that they were warned about in a previous court ruling. They decided to ignore it. So that's the component that we're talking about. By appointing the special representative, there can be that dynamic, meaningful consultation with someone who is empowered to represent the government in an official capacity.
Roy Stone, Globe Mill.
Mr. Scheer, would meaningful consultation mean to you that Indigenous groups could actually veto the project if they don't agree with it?
The duty to consult is very clear. It means that concerns have to be addressed, and addressing those concerns can take a variety of options. But we certainly don't believe that the 30-plus Indigenous communities who had signed agreements, who are going to see real benefits in their communities, should have to go without those advantages because a smaller group of people are simply opposed to it. Where people are raising concerns to get to a better project, to get to a cleaner environment, a more safe or secure route, absolutely those concerns should be listened to and addressed, but they should not be used as excuses just to get to a no because of ideological grounds.
And what can you explain what do you mean by foreign-funded interference in regulatory hearings? What do you mean by that?
So under Bill C-69, under the government's current plan, literally anybody in Canada will be able to appear before a hearing process and get standing and make presentations. We know that there are many groups in Canada that are ideologically opposed to developing our energy sector, and they often receive funding from foreign groups, from groups in other countries that spend money in Canada to enable them to protest, to speak out and to interfere with these processes. We believe that should not be appropriate for a hearing process, that those who are affected by a pipeline project, a landowner, an Indigenous community, a municipality, or someone with expertise, someone with an engineering degree or training in the field, should be able to be part of the process, but not literally anybody in Canada, because that will open the door to foreign funds influencing the decision process.